A lot of times I make videos asking questions, and it seemed like the asking of the question is highly offensive, either because people assume that I must also mean other things, or because it threatens them in some way, because of their own beliefs. But this really is a question, and if I'm wrong, tell me and explain it to me. But the anarchists seem to be saying some things that are hard for me to dispute about the evils of government. Of course, that doesn't prove that anarchy is going to be any better, so it seems that if we go ahead and remove government regulation in many of these aspects, that two things can happen. Let's take racism as an example. Either racism will flourish because it's now permitted, or it won't. And that's because in an enlightened society, high-minded people aren't going to permit that. It seems to me just an extraordinary amount of the pro-anarchist opinions are dependent upon a very optimistic view of human behavior that has not been observed in history. In other words, people are going to do things because they want to be viewed as being this, because they want to be viewed as being that. Why haven't people throughout history wanted to be viewed as honest and just and fair and that sort of thing? Because if those things were operating then, they wouldn't have done a bunch of the ugly things they did do. What is different about now? Or is it that we are willing to accept that if we remove a lot of the government prohibitions, and that some things become uglier than they are, well, that's just fine, because we view the harm of government control as being worse. It seems to me that there is a premise built into the videos, sometimes more explicitly than others, that if given the opportunity, good will spontaneously occur where it has not occurred in the past.